How people built cozy homes to survive freezing medieval winters. 2 hours of relaxing history. Hello guys, today we will know about a cold and distant time. A time when winter ruled the land for many months. When warmth was carefully protected. And homes were built to endure long nights. Tonight, we travel slowly to a small town in northern Europe. In the late 13th century. This narration is meant to help you relax, to calm your thoughts, and to drift gently into sleep. There is no hurry here. No great events. Only ordinary lives. Moving quietly through cold days. And darker nights. Winter has already settled over the town. The sun rises weakly. And leaves early. Cold air rests heavily on the streets. Frost clings to every surface. The town is small. Surrounded by fields and low woods. Stone walls hold it together. Inside, wooden houses lean close. As if sharing warmth. The streets are narrow. Laid with uneven stones. Some are only packed earth. In winter, they are damp and slick. Mud freezes overnight. A thin fog moves slowly. Curling through the lanes. Hanging low near the ground. Oil lamps glow faintly. Their light soft and yellow. These lamps are few. Placed near crossings and doors. Most of the street remains dark. Shadows stretch along walls. Sound feels distant. Footsteps are careful here. People walk slowly. Wrapped in cloaks. Keeping close to buildings. Avoiding the cold wind. The houses are simple. Built of timber frames. Filled with clay, straw, or stone. Their walls are thick. Meant to hold warmth. Roofs are steep. Covered with thatch or wooden shingles. Snow slides down slowly. Gathering near doorways. Blocking drafts where it can. Inside the houses. Space is limited. Often one room serves many purposes. Living. Working. Sleeping. The hearth sits at the center. A shallow fire pit. Or a low stone frame. It burns when fuel allows. Never larger than needed. Wood is precious. Peat is gathered from distant ground. Charcoal is rare. The fire is fed carefully. Watched constantly. Smoke rises slowly. It does not always escape. It gathers beneath the roof. Darkening beams over years. Settling into cloth and skin. The smell of smoke fills everything. It is never gone. It becomes familiar. Almost comforting. A sign of warmth. The floor is packed earth. Covered with straw or rushes. They trap some warmth. They soften the ground. They are replaced when worn. Furniture is sparse. A rough table. A bench against the wall. A wooden chest. Nothing unnecessary. The chest holds many things. Clothing. Tools. Food when there is extra. It serves as seat and storage. As daylight fades. People return from work. Hands are stiff. Faces are red from cold. Breath clouds the air indoors. Meals are prepared slowly. A pot is set over the hearth. Porridge thickens with heat. Bread is broken by hand. Vegetables are added when available. Meat is rare. Saved for special days. When it appears, it is shared carefully. Never wasted. Food is eaten quietly. From wooden bowls. With simple spoons. Conversation is low. The fire speaks more than words. Clothing is heavy and plain. Wool tunics. Layered cloaks. Hoods pulled close around faces. Fabric is patched many times. Nothing is thrown away. Old garments are repaired. Edges are sewn again. Warmth matters more than appearance. Comfort comes from layers. Children sit close to the hearth. Their cheeks flushed. They helped earlier. Carrying wood. Fetching water. Some children attend charity schools. Often near the church. They learn prayers. Simple letters. Most learning comes from work. During the day, children help their parents. Sweeping floors. Tending animals. Running small errands. Work fills every hour of light. There are craftsmen in the town. Cobblers. Weavers. Carpenters. Their workshops open to the street. Light enters when it can. Hands move slowly in winter. Cold stiffens fingers. Tools are simple and worn. Outside the walls. Fields lie quiet. Frozen and waiting. Farmers tend animals instead of soil. Life pauses beneath frost. Carts creak over stones. Pulled by horses or oxen. Wheels move slowly. Sounds carry far in cold air. Then fade again. As evening deepens, the town grows quieter. Shops close their shutters. Doors are barred. Lamps burn low. Inside the houses, the fire is reduced. Fuel must last through the night. The room cools steadily. People gather closer together. Sleeping places are prepared. Straw mattresses are laid out. Wooden frames creak softly. Blankets of rough wool are shared. Bodies press close for warmth. Often families sleep together. Parents. Children. Sometimes animals nearby. Warmth is shared freely. The cold presses at the walls. Wind slips through cracks. Breath is visible in the dark. Blankets are pulled tight. Sleep comes slowly. Outside. The fog thickens again. Streets fall silent. Snow rests where it fell. The town settles into night. And within these carefully built homes, ordinary people rest. Sheltered by wood and earth. Waiting for morning. Waiting for warmth. The night continues to deepen. Quietly. Without change. As the cold holds steady. And the town settles further into itself. Inside the houses. The warmth from the hearth fades slowly. Embers glow faintly. Casting soft shadows on the walls. then dim again. People shift closer together. Without waking fully. Seeking shared warmth. Drawn by habit. And need. The wooden walls creak softly. As cold tightens them. The sound is familiar. Never alarming. Only part of winter. Outside. The narrow streets are empty. Oil lamps have burned low. Some are already dark. Fog rests unmoving. Snow dulls every sound. It softens the stones. Covers the mud. The town feels distant. As if held under a cloth. Before dawn. The cold feels strongest. It presses inward. Through cracks and seams. Testing every wall. Inside. Blankets are pulled tighter. Rough wool against skin. Straw mattresses shift slightly. Breath rises and falls. Slow and steady. Sleep here is light. Broken at times. Yet it returns again. Because the body needs it. And winter allows no choice. Morning does not arrive quickly. Light comes slowly in winter. A pale gray at the shutters. Almost unnoticed. As if unsure. People wake before warmth. Before comfort. Eyes open reluctantly. Hands search for cloaks. The floor is cold again. The fire must be woken. Ash stirred gently. A few saved embers glow. New wood is added. Carefully. Water is fetched early. Buckets heavy and stiff. Ropes cold to the touch. Hands ache briefly. Then grow numb. Bread from the day before is eaten. Hard and dry. Softened with warm liquid. Porridge returns to the pot. The same as always. There is comfort in this sameness. In knowing what the day brings. Routine calms the mind. Even in cold and hardship. It gives shape to time. Men step into the streets. Wrapped in thick cloaks. Hoods pulled low. Footsteps slow and careful. Watching for ice. Women follow later. Some toward markets. Some to workshops. Some remain inside. Mending and tending fires. The town wakes quietly. Without bells. Without calls. Only the sound of movement. Gradual and soft. Shops open when light allows. Shutters lifted slowly. Tools laid out again. Hands already stiff. But practiced. Craftsmen work close to windows. Seeking every bit of daylight. Winter days are short. Work must fit the sun. And stop when it fades. Cobblers bend over worn shoes. Repairing old leather. Few can afford new. Every stitch matters. Every piece reused. Weavers work the loom. Thread passing slowly. Cold fingers careful. The rhythm steady. Almost soothing. Children move between tasks. Carrying small loads. Holding tools. Watching closely. Learning by doing. Some children walk toward the church. Their steps quiet. Hands hidden in sleeves. Lessons are brief. The cold shortens them. Prayers are spoken softly. Letters traced slowly. Most learning happens at home. Through work. Through repetition. By midday, the light is already fading. Shadows stretch across streets. The sun stays low, offering little warmth. Meals are taken when possible. Not always at the same hour. Soup is warmed if fuel allows. Bread is shared again. Enough to continue. Markets remain small in winter. Fewer goods. Fewer voices. Trade is quiet. Focused on need. Carts pass through slowly. Wheels creaking on stone. Horses breathe clouds of steam. Drivers keep heads down. The cold watches all. As afternoon darkens, work begins to end. Tools are set aside. Shutters close again. The town turns inward. People return home early. Light is precious. Warmth more so. The streets empty quickly. Silence returns. Inside the houses, fires are built again. Small and controlled. Just enough to warm hands. Never more. Clothing is shaken free of frost. Boots placed near the hearth. Steam rises briefly. Then disappears. Everything dries slowly. Evening meals repeat the same pattern. Porridge. Bread. Vegetables when there are any. The body accepts it without question. Conversation is minimal. Voice is low. Energy saved. The day has taken its share. Rest is welcomed. Children grow drowsy early. Darkness comes soon. They sit close to the fire, listening to its soft sound, waiting for sleep. Night gathers again outside. Fog thickens. Wind brushes the walls. The cold returns to claim its hours. As it always does. Doors are barred. Shutters closed tight. Latches checked from habit. Not fear. Just care. Inside. The fire is allowed to fade. Only embers remain. Their glow faint and steady. The room cools again. Sleeping places are prepared once more. Straw arranged. Blankets shared. Bodies gather close. Warmth preserved. And slowly, without signal, sleep returns to the town, holding these small homes. Through another winter night settles once more. Softly. Without announcement. As if it never truly left. Only waited. Inside the small houses. Sleep comes in gentle waves. Not deep. Not heavy. But enough to restore. Breath rises and falls quietly. Shared among many. Parents. Children. Sometimes animals nearby. All gathered close. The cold presses against the walls. Testing the timber. Finding small gaps. But the thick earth and straw hold firm. As they were meant to. These homes were built with care. Not for beauty. But for survival. Every wall placed with purpose. Every crack known. Layers of clay and straw seal the frames. Keeping out wind. Keeping in warmth. Simple knowledge passed down. From one winter to the next. Roofs are low for a reason. Heat stays closer. Snow settles thick above. Adding another shield. Against the frozen air. The hearth rests quietly now. Ash settled. Embers faint. Its work done for the night. Its warmth remembered. A sleeper turns slightly. Seeking a warmer place. Finding it beside another body. Movement slows again. Stillness returns. Outside. The streets lie empty. Cobbles hidden beneath frost. Fog resting like a blanket. No sound carries far. All is muted. The lamps are dark now. Oil saved for morning. The night needs no light. It knows its paths. And keeps its secrets. Time passes without measure. No bells mark the hours. Only the slow change of cold. And the deepening of rest. Tell the story. Before dawn. The chill grows sharper. This is the hardest hour. Known well by every household. The test of walls and blankets. Inside. Blankets are drawn tighter. Wool rough but trusted. Straw mattresses shift slightly. Insulating the ground below. Holding what warmth they can. Children sleep through it. Their bodies warm with closeness. Adults wake briefly. Then return to rest. Used to this rhythm. The knowledge of winter lives in the body. When to turn. When to pull close. When to remain still. Learned over years. The house responds gently. Wood creaks once. Then settles. Accepting the cold. Without resistance. At last. A faint change arrives. Not warmth. But light. Barely there. A pale gray touches the shutters. So faint it might be imagined. Morning does not rush in winter. It waits. Asking permission. Inside. Sleep loosens its hold. Not fully. Just enough. To begin again. Hands reach for cloaks. Feet hesitate before touching earth. The floor holds the night's cold. Unforgiving. But expected. The hearth must wake once more. Ash stirred gently. Saved embers glow. A breath of flame returns. Slow and careful. Outside. The town remains quiet. As if listening. Waiting for the day to truly arrive. Fog still clings. Unmoved. The people rise again. Not eager. But ready. Wrapped in layers. Trusting their homes behind them. These houses have done their work. They have held the night at bay. They have guarded warmth. They have allowed rest. And that is enough. As the day begins once more. Winter still rules. But it has been endured. One night. One careful home. One quiet breath at a time. The day moves forward quietly. Slowly. As if winter itself has asked it to be gentle. Nothing happens all at once. Everything unfolds with care. The fire grows stronger now. Just enough to warm hands. Not enough to waste fuel. A pot is set above the flame. Steam rises softly. Porridge returns to the table. Thick and plain. Eaten without haste. It brings warmth from within. That lingers longer than the fire. Bread is broken again. Hard from the cold. Softened with warm liquid. Shared evenly. Nothing more is needed. Clothing is layered carefully. Wool upon wool. Cloaks pulled tight. Belts adjusted to keep fabric close. Every fold matters. Before stepping outside, people pause. They gather themselves. They prepare for the cold. Habit guides each movement. The door opens briefly. Cold air rushes in. Sharp and biting. Then the door closes again. The house holds. Streets accept movement slowly. Footsteps appear one by one. Cobbles slick with frost. Mud hardened overnight. Care is taken with every step. The fog lifts slightly. Just enough to see ahead. Buildings emerge in pale shapes. Wooden walls dark against gray air. The town reveals itself reluctantly. Work resumes where it must. Craftsmen return to benches. Hands stiff but practiced. Tools familiar in the grip. Skill overcomes cold. Shops open quietly. Shutters raised with effort. Goods arranged simply. Nothing unnecessary displayed. Only what will sell. Market spaces fill slowly. A few stalls at first. Wooden tables. Cloth covers weighted against wind. Voices remain low. Carts arrive from nearby farms. Pulled by horses or oxen. Wheels crunch over frozen ground. Steam rises from animals. Then fades into air. Farmers bring what winter allows. Grain. Stored vegetables. Salted goods. Nothing fresh. Trade is careful. Measured. Coins pass quietly between hands. Barter is common. Trust matters more than speed. Children move through the streets. Wrapped in oversized cloaks. Running small errands. Carrying messages. Learning the shape of work. Some children pause at the church. Its stone walls colder than wood. Lessons are short. Prayers spoken quickly. Warmth is sought again soon. Street labor continues even in winter. Refuse must be cleared. Paths kept passable. Baskets are filled. Work done without complaint. The sun never climbs high. It offers light. But little warmth. Shadows remain long. The day feels brief. By midday, the cold has not lifted. It has only changed. Becoming damp. Clinging to clothing. People take shelter when possible. Stepping into shops. Standing near hearths. Hands extended briefly toward heat. Then moving on. Meals are taken when needed. Soup warmed again. Bread shared once more. Fuel is always counted. Nothing extra is burned. As afternoon fades quickly, work begins to slow. The light weakens. Shadows deepen. The town prepares to close again. Shutters are drawn early. Tools set aside. Market stalls dismantled. Carts turn toward home. Sounds grow fewer. People return to their houses. The streets empty once more. Footsteps echo briefly, then disappear. Winter claims the hours. Inside the homes, fires are built again. Small and steady. Enough to warm the room. Enough to gather around. Clothing damp with cold is set near the hearth. Steam rises faintly. Then fades. Everything dries slowly. Nothing is rushed. Evening meals repeat familiar patterns. Porridge. Bread. Vegetables if there are any. The body accepts it quietly. Conversation remains minimal. Energy is saved. The day has taken much. Silence feels natural. Comforting. Children grow tired early. Darkness presses at the windows. They sit close to the fire, listening to its soft sound. Eyes growing heavy. Night gathers again outside. Fog thickens. Wind returns gently. The cold prepares to test the town once more, as it always does. And the houses stand ready, built for this purpose. Walls thick. Roofs low. Holding warmth. They wait, as they have through many winters, to shelter ordinary lives. Through another long night of quiet endurance. The night returns gently. Not suddenly, but as a familiar presence, settling over the town once more, like a well-known weight. Outside, the streets fall silent again. Fog presses low against the ground. Oil lamps glow faintly. Then one by one grow dim. Cold air slips between buildings, finding corners and narrow lanes. It moves slowly, without sound, testing walls and doors. Inside the houses, people draw closer together. The fire burns low, its warmth limited, saved for the longest hours. The hearth crackles softly, then settles. Embers glow red beneath ash. A quiet reminder of heat, soon to fade. Sleeping places are prepared again. Straw mattresses laid out carefully, flattened by many nights, yet trusted, as they always have been. Blankets are shared. Rough wool, heavy and worn, pulled close around shoulders, tucked beneath chins. Families gather in one space. Parents, children, sometimes a small animal nearby. Warmth is communal. Privacy has little meaning here. Heat matters more. Bodies press close. Breath mingles. The cold is held back together. Children settle quickly. The day has tired them. Their work was small, but constant. Sleep claims them without struggle. Adults remain awake a little longer, listening to the fire, to the wind beyond the walls, to the creak of timber. Then rest follows. The wooden beams respond to cold, contracting softly, making gentle sounds, never alarming, only familiar. Outside, snow begins to fall again. Light and slow. It gathers on roofs and along doorways. Snow becomes another layer of protection, covering cracks, softening edges, holding warmth inside, as it has many times before. The streets disappear beneath white. Footprints fade quickly. The town feels smaller, more enclosed, more still. Before dawn, the cold grows sharp again. This is the hardest hour, known well by every household. The moment walls must prove themselves. Inside, breath becomes visible once more. A pale cloud in darkness. Blankets are pulled tighter. Bodies turn inward. Instinct guides movement. Sleep breaks briefly, then returns. Light and uneven, yet enough. Always enough to continue. The house holds. Its thick walls steady. Its low roof trapping warmth. Its packed earth floor cold, but familiar. These homes were shaped by winter, built from experience, from memory, from many cold nights survived, one after another. Every beam, every layer of clay, every handful of straw, placed with purpose, to slow the cold. Outside, the wind moves past, unable to linger. Snow muffles its sound. The town remains sheltered. For now. Slowly, almost without notice, darkness begins to thin. Not with warmth, but with light. Morning does not announce itself. It arrives quietly. A pale change behind shutters. A suggestion rather than a promise. Winter morning is never bold. Inside, sleep loosens again. Not released fully. Just enough to begin. Another careful day. The hearth will wake once more. The routine will repeat. As it always does. But for this moment, the night still holds. The houses stand firm. Guarding warmth. Guarding rest. Guarding ordinary lives. Through another freezing medieval winter night. The night lingers a little longer. As winter nights often do. Reluctant to release their hold. Stretching the hours of darkness. Before morning fully arrives. Inside the houses. Sleep grows deeper again. After the brief stirring before dawn. Bodies find stillness once more. Wrapped in shared warmth. The cold remains outside. Pressing softly against walls. But the homes endure. Built to slow its passage. Layer by careful layer. Wooden frames stand firm. Filled with clay and straw. These materials hold memory. Of many winters past, and many nights survived. The low ceilings keep warmth close. Heat does not drift far upward. It stays where people sleep. Near the floor. Near their bodies. The earth beneath feels cold. But it is known. Straw insulates against it, creating a small barrier. Enough to rest upon. Blankets shift slightly. As sleepers adjust without waking. Movements are small. Practiced. Learned through repetition. Children remain deeply asleep. Their breathing soft and even. Unaware of the cold. Held by closeness. And habit. Adults sleep more lightly. Yet with trust. They know the house will hold. As it has before. As it must. Outside. The snow continues to fall. Light and steady. Covering the town completely. Softening every edge. Streets are no longer visible. Paths disappear beneath white. The world beyond the door fades away. The house becomes everything. The only shelter. Wind brushes the rooftops. Unable to find a way in. Snow seals small gaps. Quieting the night further. Deepening the stillness. Time feels slow here. Unmarked. Unmeasured. Hours pass without notice. Only cold and breath remain. The hearth sleeps now. Ash settled. Embers gone dark. Its work complete. Until morning. Yet its presence remains. In the scent of smoke. In the warmth held by walls. In the comfort of routine. Trusted and familiar. These homes were shaped by need. Not comfort as a luxury. But comfort as survival. Every choice made with winter in mind. Every detail learned the hard way. People learned where to place beds. Away from drafts. Closer to the hearth. Near inner walls. Sheltered from the worst cold. They learned how many could sleep together. How much warmth bodies could share. How to layer cloth and straw. To make the night bearable. Again and again. This knowledge passed quietly. From parent to child. From one winter to the next. Without words. Through example alone. And so the houses continue to stand. Not grand. Not strong in appearance. But wise in their making. Enduring. As the night begins to thin once more. The cold eases only slightly. Enough to allow breath to deepen. Enough to hold sleep. A little longer. Soon. The faintest light will return. But for now. The town remains wrapped in darkness. And rest. The houses hold their purpose. Sheltering ordinary lives. Through one more long night. Of a freezing medieval winter. Quietly endured.